Hello, I'm Maria from the Richardson Simple Living, and this morning I'm just going to have a quick chat about the cost of homeschooling and the space in which to do it. A lot of people I found say to me, I could never afford to homeschool my child because you've got to pay for everything. It's free at school. And then others will say, well, I haven't really got the room to do it, really. You need extra space. Because they're thinking of a classroom setting, they obviously think you need the same sort of space. So I just thought I'd talk through with you and just show you what I do. First of all, regarding the cost, well, it can cost as much as or as little as you want, really. If you have tutors or you pay to take courses online, obviously the cost will run up then. That again will be as expensive as how many online courses you take or how many hours tutoring you have or how many tutors you have, because you might have a tutor for more than one subject. So that can run up very expensive. Such as myself, it doesn't cost as much at all. All I have to do, I buy books for her to write in, which, to be honest, I haven't had to really buy many. I think I've bought one, a writing book, purely because she's got so many notebooks everywhere. She gets bought them, birthdays, Christmas, presents. She goes somewhere and she sees a nice notebook and buys them. So she's got lots of notebooks, Sean has. And we just went around and just picked out some notebooks that hadn't been used. I mean, you might be the same. Your children buy notebooks, or yourself, you might buy notebooks. I know I love buying notebooks. I've always got piles of notebooks. I write notes of notes, me. I love it. So there's quite often a notebook or two lying around, in our case more. But yeah, you do tend to find you've got things like that lying around, and if you do have to buy them, you can go into places like Poundland and buy them. So, and you don't need many, really, depending on what subjects you do. But talking about myself, how the cost with me, like I say, I think I bought one notebook and that was from Poundland, and the rest she'd got herself. We got one big exercise book to do her English in. That was one of my spare ones, so I didn't have to buy that. Again, though, they're in Poundland, so it doesn't cost much. Pens, pencils and equipment like that. Children have normally got loads of them. When they're small, people tend to buy them lots of drawing things and colouring things. And if they're anything unlike Sian, she has got tubs and tubs full of them. And she still buys them, still gets more. So I never had to buy nothing like that whatsoever. She has got lots of things like that. But I have been a bit naughty because I've started buying some bits and pieces for the new term, and she doesn't really need them. Well, some notebooks. Well, she has got loads of notebooks, but I saw some nice ones. But I'm going to show you that at a later date when I've got everything together that I want, a little back to school haul type of thing. I'll show you that a bit further in the summer, because she doesn't start a structured learning back till the 6th of October. September. Oh goodness, my year does go fast. So yeah, I have been buying bits. That's mainly because I couldn't resist them, and when I do show you in the haul, you'll see why. But yeah, so yeah, I spent £1, I think, on them. Then there's workbooks. I did buy workbooks. Now, I did spend more on the workbooks. I think the bigger Collins workbooks I've got for Key Stage 3, they were roughly, I got them when they were on offer, so I think I paid roughly about £7.99 for them. Because if you do Amazon and you put things in your wish list, you find they fluctuate in price, and quite often they drop a lot in price, and then you catch them at the right time, you can get some real good bargains. So that's what I did with them. And I think, I'm not sure how many I've got. So I've got an English one, a geography one, a history one, science one. They were the Collins ones that I can think of off my head. I got some, I think it's CGP they're called, and I got German ones in those, and they were about £3.99 each. I'd got them for, and the same with English spellings and language and punctuation. That was about £3.99. I got some maths books to begin with. They were ranged between £2.99 and £3.99, but they ended up a waste of time because they just weren't suitable for Sean. I mean, if you watch some of my much earlier videos, I explain all that. You can see how we got really stressed over maths. So you'd have to watch one of my earlier videos and see that. But yeah, I went back and bought her some blue maths books, or Maths Blue or something it's called. I was only talking about that the other day as well. I can still never get which way round the blue is. Blue Maths or Maths Blue. And we just got some simple addition books and things like that for her because she has her problems with her maths and the times tables we got. So I'm not sure what they were. I think they fluctuated around £3.99, something like that. They go up and down. I put them in my wish list, you see, and I wait till they come down and grab them then. So all in all, when I first set up, I must have spent, well, it'd be less than £100, because she'd got all her pens and pencils. We don't have no tutors. We're not paying for no courses. We just use the Key Stage 3 books, some Collins, some CGP, and these blue maths ones. That's blue maths. But yeah, we just use them. There are lots of resources though, because obviously you've got the internet and you can get your information on anything whatsoever for free. Well, obviously you pay your internet fees, but you're doing that anyway if you've got internet. So yeah, you can resource anything. You don't really have to buy books. Oh dear, postman's just come, so the dog's barking. You don't have to buy books at all, really. You can just devise your own, vegan Cassie, just devise your own curriculum and plan it all online by, you know, knowing what you can Google and your subjects and whatnot. Watching things like Netflix as fantastic documentaries as well that can correspond to what you want to learn. So if you're paying for Netflix anyway, it's not like you're paying any extra to watch your documentaries. So you've got all of that. BBC Bite Size. Get down, Cassie. Down. Sorry about that. Dog jumped on the table. That's what the postman does for. So yeah, as I was saying, BBC Bite Size. That's free to look at on the internet. All sorts of information on there for the age range of children from primary to secondary school age. So we've often used that as well. That's free resources. Twinkle, that's another one. You do pay for memberships on there, but they do a great range of free things. We've had loads of free things from Twinkle that we download. We normally do them for special occasions. If there's something happening, you know, a special day for something, we can sometimes get free things for that. They do some good ranges as well if you pay, because we're thinking of getting the cheaper subscription. I think, is it £4.49, I think, for the year? Because I have been thinking about that as we move away from the books, because we are intending to move away from the books as they come to an end, and I want to devise my own curriculum suited to Sean. But first of all, we're going to finish going through the books. It gives me an idea as well what she's interested in and isn't. So yeah, like I say, Twinkle, you got lots of free things on there, access to lots of free things. You can choose to pay. It's not expensive, like I say. The cheapest one's, I think it's £4.49. It's 4 something anyway. That's the cheapest one, and you get a whole range of things on there, and then it rises in cost. Not sure if there's like 2 or 3 levels that you pay for. I think the most expensive level is £8 something. It says a month, but I think you pay it yearly. which still isn't bad if you want to use most of their resources. But when you compare it alongside of school, now Sean would have been going up to secondary school, I'd have had to buy all a uniform, all a PE uniform. Then they have different things for different, you know, lessons, like they've got to have special aprons for cooking, special aprons in sciences and things like that. They have their own equipment as well if they're in special lessons. It's never ending. It's never ending because they're always sending them letters home saying, oh, your child needs. I mean, even when Sean was in primary school, we had to buy a uniform, and you couldn't just, well, you skirts, trousers and your undershirts you could go and get from somewhere like Asda. But your jumpers and cardigans all had to have the school logo on. They wouldn't accept plain ones, you had to have the school logo. So we had to buy all of them, and they're not cheap. They've got to have PE kits, even though they didn't, I could go to Aldi, well, I think they do some actually. I went to Asda, and you can buy your PE kits. You got to have the shoes. Well, I mean, pair of shoes from Clark's, you're talking £40 a time, and Sean used to grow and grow and grow. I mean, she's bigger than me now, and she was growing all through school. I was sometimes having to buy new shoes and uniforms twice a year. And even though at primary school they do supply them with pens and books and things, they were often sending letters home saying, your child needs money for this, like recorder. They did recorder classes, so we had to buy their own recorders. When they did sports, I think they did hockey, we had to buy them the gum shields and things like that. So secondary school, there's even more things to buy, and they're very expensive. So if I weigh up what I've spent on homeschooling as opposed to if Sean had gone to secondary school, I have probably saved hundreds, because I don't spend a lot of money homeschooling. Like I say, I bought the books, that was the biggest cost, but it was less than £100, probably much less than £100. And we're working our way through them. When we've done them, I'm going to devise my own curriculum, whereby it'll probably be cheaper again. So if you're a family who don't want to spend a lot of money, you know, you don't have to. You can get all your resources free online just by Googling information. If you devise your own curriculum, or even if you want to follow school curriculum, just find out what lessons they're doing and what are they doing for that age range, and Google it all yourself online, get it all online. BBC Bitesize is great to go to for the school curriculum. And again, like I say, with Twinkle, you might have to pay for a subscription if you're following the key stages, because you get so much free. But if you want to do it to the letter, then you'd probably have to pay for one of the subscriptions. But you know, it's not that expensive at all. And at secondary school, you've got to buy all your pens, because I mean, kids have got on your bags, you've got to buy your bag. So you've got all the bags, and then you've got to buy all the pens and pencil cases and crayons and everything, you know. But that's the only other thing, we get them at home. You might have to buy them if you haven't already got them, but I'd be very surprised if nobody had got pens and pencils and crayons at home. And you've got children, your house is full of things like that. You're finding them everywhere. So yeah, I wouldn't spend a lot of money. I don't see the need to spend a lot of money. There's too many free resources out there. So it doesn't cost a lot. Anyone could afford to homeschool, anybody can, and they probably find they're saving a lot of money as opposed to sending them to school, especially secondary schools where the prices go through the roof. So yeah, I wouldn't put yourself off by thinking it's going to cost a lot, because it really doesn't. Unless you want to buy books, you know, like reading books. But we get them for Sean, like for birthdays and Christmas. Like like documentary book type things, you know. She's into World War Ones and World War Twos at the moment and other wars, and so she loves the books on them with the real pictures and the being able to read about them and everything. So we get books like that, but because we never know what to buy on birthdays and Christmas, it's always things like that because that's what she wants. So I don't even need to buy them special for schooling because she's already got the books that she's interested in and wants. And should she find more that she wants, you know what you're buying for Christmas or a birthday then. So yeah, I mean, unless you want to buy special books like that because you haven't already got them, they would cost a bit. But you know, even then you could pop them on birthday or Christmas lists, Easter lists, anything like that. So no, it doesn't cost a lot. It doesn't cost a lot. The only time it would really run up into bigger money, I think, is if you had tutors or you were paying for a lot of courses online. I had looked at online things before I started homeschooling, and I saw courses, some, you know, range like 40, 60, 100 and something pounds. And if I was to have done all the lessons doing them, then yes, it would be quite expensive. But other than that, no. And you see also in school, and I just remembered, you have to pay for buses, transport to school. A lot of schools do. Some get it free, but not as many as used to. Some people have to buy bus passes for the year. I know that one of the schools, well, say it's kind of in our catchment area, their bus fares can run up £2,000 for a year. You know, it's very expensive. If you've got a couple of children, you're paying £1,000 a year easily for bus fares. So yeah, it is definitely a lot less expensive to homeschool, unless, like I say, you were paying tutors and that. And even then, even if you have the odd tutor, it's not going to be too bad, because I'd looked at tutors thinking of maths with Sean, and I think half an hour was ranged from £15 to an hour at £25. That was about the maximum they went at around my area. And I thought, that's not bad, because that's about the same price as the cost of a riding lesson, horse riding lesson. I thought, well, that's not bad if you're just doing one subject and having them in a week just to help her along. But yeah, it's, if you had them for everything, it would perhaps cost a bit more. But I don't know, I can't compare it really, because I've not had them for everything. But as far as we go, we don't pay a lot of money at all. It barely costs me anything whatsoever. Barely costs anything at all. And the price of peace of mind for Sian and myself, that she's here and happy and flourishing, is priceless. Anyway, that's the cost of it. I thought to tell you quickly now about the space. That's not going to take me long if you're bored of me already. But yeah, space-wise, a lot of people say, oh, I haven't got the room to be doing homeschooling. And I imagine they must think like you've got to have a classroom setting, desks and all your boards and everything like that, which is nice. I have seen some do that, and I think Sian would have a panic attack thinking she was at school if I did that. But no, you don't need all of that. You don't need to. If you choose to and you feel that it's better setting for your child and you have got the space, that's great and lovely. Some of them look wonderful. But you don't need to do that. If you haven't got the space, you don't need to. What I did, talking about us, when I first started homeschooling, right up until we finished last week, I kept all the books that I was talking about in one big pile on a box in a corner, because I didn't know where to put them. We'd been decorated and everything, and I thought, well, we'll sort some space out for them. So I didn't know what to do with them. They were just in one pile on top of a box in a corner. So every day I was working through them to see which book I needed for which day. It was a bit of pain in the neck, but I managed like it. And as for sitting and doing a work, for a good while, we were sitting on the sofa, because our house was all upside down. If you see some of our earlier videos, we've been decorating and putting everything how we want it. So we've been sat on the sofa with a school book on a knee, doing it. and grabbing them from the box in the corner. But now we're sorted out and everything's tidy. We've got I'll see if I can swing you around actually. As you know, the decorating we've been doing, we swapped the living room back with the dining room and vice versa, which is how we had it once upon a time, but for some bizarre reason I changed it around. So anyway, now we're back in the main room. We've got the table here. You have to excuse it because we are jumped up again at the moment, all around, like, oh, can't get my hand right, freezer, and all around shoes and right into the corner boxes, because we're doing the hallway, as you've seen at the minute, so they're in the way. But yes, you can sit at the table now and work, which is great. And because we did this room out and it's nice and spacious when I haven't got the other stuff, I put one of the shelves that are in the back room that was full of junk into the corner. And as you can see, I've got all little boxes on there, and each one, that's a year 7 completed work. So all the work she's completed last year, this past year, we put in there. She hasn't completed everything because obviously we're doing the Key Stage 3 bookworks, which lasts 4 years, 7, 8 and 9. But she's still working on them, but she will have finished them by the end of year 8. And so for the year 9 we're going off to invent our own curriculum. But for this coming year now, she's still using a workbook. So we've got what she uses there on a Monday. So it's easy because I can just pull that tray out. My printer, and that's there. I've got to put that at a height that I can reach it. And down below, then we've got the Tuesday, and next to it the Wednesday. And down at the bottom, we've got the Thursday and the Friday. And then right at the very bottom, that's just a miscellaneous box. That's just got paper in and books that I've got that probably she will be using, but we haven't got round to it yet. Or any folders and things when she's doing topics and stuff like that. That's another thing that you can buy is folders. You don't have to, but they're cheap enough. You buy them in Poundland. I've got loads and loads of them anyway, but every time I see nice fancy ones I have to buy them, even though I've got cupboards full of empty ones. But somebody always wants a folder. It is handy. I dread it when I do my haul for my back to school haul. You'll see what I mean. Buying things I don't need. But it's always from Poundland or somewhere cheap like B&M. I don't spend loads. But yeah, so yeah, all the bookwork's there. It's nicely sorted out. Each thing is in a tray for each day, so I just pull out which day it is. The only thing I move from tray to tray each day will be a pencil case and a reading book. So like if it would start off in the Monday tray, when we've done with it, we'll put it down into the Tuesday tray for the next day. So yeah, I think I quite like that actually. It doesn't take up no space, it's in a corner and it's out of the way. So I'm so glad we did the rooms out the way we did, and it has given me more space. Not that you need loads of space for homeschooling. So you might have a cupboard or anywhere, or stacking system where you can just put each day's bookwork in. I mean, I didn't. I just had it on a box and pulling out each day what I needed. It could be a bit of a pain, but it was doable. It wasn't a problem. It didn't affect her learning in any way. So yeah, you don't need a lot of space. Don't need really any space at all. She's got the table now where she can sit and write, but like I said before that, because the settee was in here, the sofa, and the dining table was in there, and it was so full of boxes and things that had to be sorted, couldn't really get at it. So she sat in here. But having said that, when we do a German, once a week, I think on a Wednesday we do German, we go back in that room and sit on the sofa to do a German, because we use Alexa to say the words, pronounce words and things like that for us. So we don't even have to go and buy discs or anything like that to hear how the German's spoken. We just use Alexa. So there's another resource really. If you've already got it, then use it, because you can get some good information from there. We often ask her a question and get some good information. So yeah, so many ways. So I just thought I'd say that, because I've heard that a lot, and I've had it said quite a few times, oh, I haven't got the money to be homeschooling, it's expensive, or I haven't got the room for that, you know. And you don't need lots of money, and you don't need space really, just as long as somewhere to sit and write, and you know, you've got a corner you can stack your books in. That's all you need. So yeah, that's it for today anyway. I was going to say short and sweet, but I think I've been on about 25 minutes. Do you know, I've got to stop talking. Terrible. And yet if you meet me in real life, I'm ever so quiet. You'd have to do all the talking. But yeah, anyway, that's that for today. I shall see you again tomorrow with another vlog. So have a good day everybody, and take care. Bye.